We've been trying to tackle affordable housing for generations now. By almost every available measure, we failed. Housing prices soar, pricing would-be markers out of the market. That trickles down to the rental market, which has hit crisis levels in many Canadian cities. Well, now a new idea has surfaced, a $10 billion plan to reset planning and finally build what this country really does need. A new nonprofit called Creative Housing Society is behind this plan. At its head is Jennifer Keesmaat, former chief city planner for Toronto. It's nice to see you. Welcome back to the show.
It's good to be here, Peter.
What is this plan and how are you going to make this work?
So really the crux of the plan is recognizing, as you said, an incredible problem. Governments want to do something about it. What do governments have? Governments actually have land. Governments at federal, provincial, municipal, they have land, some of which is underutilized, some of which has been identified for redevelopment. And this is really about taking that land and using that land to develop affordable rental housing. That's really, in a nutshell, what this is about. So it's a partnership between the Creative Housing Society and governments across Canada in order to deliver affordable rental housing.
You were the former chief planner for the City of Toronto. Give me an example in Toronto. What are we talking about? Where is this land that we can find? Because most of it, I think of is down by the waterfront that needs remediation. It needs a flood plan. There's no way anybody could build on it yet. What are you talking about?
I know, it's so funny. People say there's no land left. Well, there's lots of land in the City of Toronto that's owned by the municipality, some of it also by the province. Think about transit stations where we have either an undeveloped area or just a station with no building atop of it. Think about community centers where we have an aging community center, we need to build a new community center. Why wouldn't we turn that into a development parcel, build a brand new community center and affordable housing atop of that community center? There's lots of those types of opportunities that can allow us to build very urban housing. That's what creative housing is all about, because we see the link between how people move about the city as being critical to affordability.
So the city gives this land then to you guys and to developers to build, and is it just affordable housing that goes in there?
So what we've created is a society that will only build affordable rental housing. That's our goal, and our goal is also to keep that housing affordable in perpetuity. So in some ways it's a quid pro quo. The municipality comes to the table with land, and in exchange Creative Housing builds that housing and keeps it affordable in perpetuity. And there's a covenant on title in order to deliver that. So it's an exchange, really. It's, you know, a market exchange would be paying market value and you would have market housing. This is a model that's really designed to respond to the role that government can best play in many ways in delivering affordable housing.
What are your concerns about the ghettoization, though? Because if it's just affordable housing, the whole last 10, 20 years of that planning aspect has been about mixed housing that has different people paying different levels of rent. So you keep it, mixed and there's always affordable housing within it, but not just affordable housing.
Well, that's an important question because I've talked a lot over the course of the past 5 years about complete communities, right?
I know.
Having a mix of housing, housing types,
Right.
lots of ways for people to move, to walk, to cycle. So this is really an important piece of the story. However, there's many parts of the city where we can add affordable rental without overwhelming the mix in any way.
I'm not talking about building giant sort of towers that then take over the...
Well, in many areas of the city, we already have quite a bit of density, but the piece that's missing is the affordable piece. And so if we're truly committed to creating complete communities, we need to actually add in the affordable piece. That's the piece that actually is missing.
Where are we at in this? Like, how you've proposed this. Has anybody said, gee, Jennifer, you're onto something. Let's give you $10 billion and see where we end up?
So, well, the great news is that we've essentially created standing commitments from many of the largest financial partners in the country who've come to the table and said, we believe in this model, we will contribute to this model, and we want to be your partner. So that was really a big test for us. Does this model work? Are there financial institutions that actually want to deliver on this model? And the answer is 2 thumbs up, yes. The next step is really working with governments in order to find the land and to deliver the product on that land. So that's the stage that we're at right now. We are in conversations with a whole variety of different players. And in every instance, we're really committed to ensuring it's linked to transit. So key transit corridors is a critical piece of this.
All right, we got to leave it there. But thanks for coming in. It's
My
nice
pleasure.
to see you. Jennifer Keesmaat, CEO of Creative Housing.